I gotta talk about this. I gotta bring this up because this is just crazy. $22,000 in 4 days for Fernando's. In 4 days! You people are maniacs! Pinocchio couldn't get that much money if he was charging to have people sit on his face while he lied. I have never seen anything that crazy in my life. For the 5 people who have no idea what I'm talking about right now, Fernando's Cafe, just down a couple of blocks, not even that. Always been friendly to his furries. He announced earlier, because of the economy, that he was going to have to shut down. He was going to have to shut down before AnthroCon. And when the furries heard that, the whole fandom collectively went East St. Louis ghetto all at the same damn time. Gotta go take away my lasagna back home, no it ain't. You know, I got to have my bacon bagel donuts, I'll kill everybody. And they started sending money. And they wouldn't stop. They only needed $4,000. They said, well, you know, we had $4,000, you know, stay up until AnthroCon. And the furries were like, screw you, bitch. You will have $22,000. We will extra do this. I mean, I have never seen anything that nuts in my life. Needless to say, Fernando's is still open this weekend. I suggest you all go. You know what would be fun? I was thinking about this earlier. If Fernando's served booze. Nobody would be here. Fernando's got a liquor license. We would have to move AnthroCon over there. We would find a way to fit 5,000 people in Fernando's. 5,000 furries, lasagna wraps, beer. All you need is a can of squeezy cheese to explode in there. We got a party going up on it. Of course, hell, you know, $20,000. You gotta realize though. On the one hand, that's pretty awesome. On the other hand, you do know that means that furries, we don't have the right to whine about anything ever again. Nothing. We can't do it. $22,000 in 4 days. That's more than $150,000 a month. We can raise that kind of money. We can't bitch about nothing anymore. That's why I couldn't make it to AnthroCon this year. Well, don't whine about it. Let's buy the Westin and move the hell in. That kind of money can actually fund a presidential campaign. Don't like furry persecution? Let's send Kage's ass to the White House. Better yet. Let's send Flux to the White House. I want to see Flux behind that little podium squeaking the State of the Union address. What we'll do for Kage, we will buy him this huge evil scientist genetics lab and see what kind of fun shit starts crawling out of there. Anthropomorphic pancakes. It's great to be back here at AnthroCon. I mean, how could it not be? This is beautiful. I love this place. And every time I come back here, it feels like I never left. Does anybody else feel that way? It's like, wait a year, back here, it's like, I wasn't ever anywhere else. I was in the dealer's room a little earlier, and just walking around. And they got these little square things in there now. And the dealers will plug them into their smartphones, and they can swipe your card and make you poor. Right in front of your face. And you've seen them. They're these little squares made by a company called square. Hey, where'd you get that square? Square. Where'd you get that great hat? Why can't things be simple like that, you know? I want a refrigerator filled with shit from a company called Food. I want a new TV. I want to drive to a company called TV. Yeah? Siemens and Johnson & Johnson should be completely different companies. That's for partying. And if it's a furry party, we can swing by Hancock Fabrics. So, they've got these little squares in there. And you know, why are things so complex? Why, when somebody wants a computer, do they go into a store called Apple? Ain't no apples in there. No Golden Delicious, no Granny Smith, no Fuji, nothing. Shit. I don't know why this place hasn't been burned down yet. I mean, okay, I may not be a very smart guy, but if there's a store called Rim Jobs, I'm thinking the people going in there are probably looking for a mudflap mamba. You know, they're not going in there for bananas or guitars or paper shredders. They're walking in there, yeah, how much I gotta pay to get someone to tongue punch my fart box? If I walked into a store called Rim Jobs and some aspiring hipster douche steak started trying to sell me a computer, I would have to set him on fire. Just, hope you got an app for that. I want to see people start getting so pissed off, they start cramming iPhones up their butt. Where's my apples? What is this, a phone? What's, whoop, where'd it go? Where'd it go? You want it back? Huh? Let's go over to Rim Jobs. You can look for it. However, I will give Apple credit for one thing. They have their folklore correct. Because when you walk into an Apple store, you're walking into a veritable garden of Eden of technology, with a snake behind the counter who tips you into taking an apple. Once you do, you are cast from the store, naked, guilty, and ashamed. So you got these little squares in the dealer's room. I don't know if that's a good thing. I really don't. Back in the old days of the fandom, when I was young, the worst you could do to yourself was to spend whatever sweaty wad of cash you had in your pocket, and then have to spend the rest of the weekend surviving off of whatever bits of Cheeto you could find in the ashtrays. You know? Picking bits of fuzz off of like a pepperoni that you find in the hallway, hoping to God it's not actually a scab. Hepatitis. That's the worst you had to worry about. Now, with these square things, I've seen furries standing along the interstate just trying to suck their way back home. Nothing left but a couple of dead glow sticks and a pile of furry art big enough to choke a mule. You know, putting on the fursuits and jumping in front of traffic to try and get them to stop, you know? Shaking their tails at truckers going by. Oh, and if you want to see a really funny look on someone's face, just start going down on a trucker in a deer suit along the Pennsylvania Turnpike. They seem tough at first, but they will scream like a little girl if they start getting a throat hug from Bambi. But you know what? This is good. This is a good thing. It's a positive. I'm excited about this because when furries have more art than money, that's one step closer to furry porn becoming the next currency. And that's going to be fun. I mean, can you picture that? You'll walk into the store and get a gallon of milk. Yes, sir, that'll be 3 Dragon Cock 50, please. Get a pad here. Regular or spiky? We prefer spiky, please. Oh, okay. When it becomes a real pain in the butt is when you start buying shit like, you know, cars. I'll be 37,995 naked foxes and 42 boobs. Be cash or credit. Now you gotta stay up late at night drawing porn to pay the porn bill. Got debt collectors calling you on the phone. Yes, sir, we still haven't received your draft bondage this month. But looking on the good side of the economy really tanks. You can fill out a couple of forms and send them to the government, and they'll start sending you porn stamps every month. I left my water. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Hang on. I left my water down here. I'll be right back. I'm not going nowhere. I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm still here.
We don't see
And I'm back. Act 2. I wanted some water. I completely forgot. I was so like, just, you know, jazzing on you guys all being out here. Look at all you men. Lots of beautiful furries out there. I'm living with a new roommate. And she is a trip. I gotta tell you about her because she is a trip. She is a transgendered vegan other. I live with a transgendered vegan other kid. So not only does God have a sense of humor, but it's the kind where evil clowns jump out of a tiny car and start slapping you with their balls. What happened was this. Last year, in fact the weekend after last AnthroCon, me and my sweetheart moved. We moved. We're still in the LA area, just in a different space. And the place we were living was literally 1.5 miles from Disneyland. Or as the locals call it, Auschwitz. They do, they call it Auschwitz. And people always ask me all the time, you're living right next to Disneyland, how could you move? There's only so many times you can get on Goofy's log ride with 8 other people before you realize you're just not special to them. After that, you just start going to Disneyland to get drunk and kick kids into the fountains. Making up your own bitter lyrics to When You Wish Upon the Star, you know, the fireworks going off. When your mom and daddy fight, it's because you ruined their life. And 32 kids in mouse ears looking at me. Shut up, you bastards. You want to know betrayal? Get on Goofy's log ride. So we moved. We moved out of there. We moved closer to the ocean, and we actually get more earthquakes over there, which I'm happy about. I'm fine. Earthquakes are fun because they bring out the ultimate in human stupidity. How many people in here from California? Okay, so you guys know what I'm talking about. For everybody who's never been in an earthquake, let me describe the stupidity, okay? First, the house shakes. This is a requirement. The house shakes, not just part of the house, not just some of it, the whole house shakes, indicating that the ground the house is attached to is moving back and forth. This should be intuitive. The second thing that happens, after that's over, everybody looks outside to make sure everybody else is looking outside, as if it's possible that just their house was shaking. And they need to know if they need to call the magic munchkin from Poltergeist to come over and dig a kid out of their teeth. So once they're satisfied with that, they run inside, get on the internet, just so they can find out how strong it was and call their friends. Yeah, we just had a 3.8. Every time. It happens every time. I like to throw a little shake up in the routine. When there's an earthquake out there, I run outside before it's even over. And the first person to walk out, hey, did you feel that? Feel what? You didn't feel that? No, but your house was sure doing some crazy shit. You might want to call that poltergeist midget. So, we moved out there. That's one of my many activities now in our new place. It's a nice place, by the way. It's a townhouse, just a few miles from the beach, me and my sweetheart. You can smell the beach when you open the door, or the windows. So, being as it's LA, we keep them closed. And we decided to move in with another couple. Because this is what furries do. We clump together and move in so we can afford to live in places that we have no business being. And then stand outside in the yard with our 8 roommates and bitch about how there's too many Mexicans stuck in the house across the street. So we moved in with this couple, one of which is the transgender roommate I mentioned before. For now, we'll call her Susan. And for the most part, they're like pretty much any other normal, mature couple. There's a few little differences. None of us really know what to do with the toilet seats. Little things like that. I mean, instead of his and hers towels, they have his and what? So, now, I hadn't met Susan before. I'd met her boyfriend. I'd actually hung out with him on many occasions before. But I hadn't met her. And the way I met Susan was one morning when I was sleeping in my bed and this smell starts creeping through the cracks of my door. Now, I had never been around vegan cooking before. And for anybody who has, let me tell you, it will change your life. Because I thought I had smelled some rancid shit in my life. Rotten cheese, dead possums, things that will burn the hair off of your brain. But I have never, ever had a smell wake me out of a dead sleep and had me tumbling down the stairs with the fire extinguisher thinking there was a yak on fire in the house. Just to get to the kitchen to find a 6'2" linebacker of a woman standing there in the middle of pots and columns of steam. Good morning, hon. Would you like some? That depends. Is it from Earth? And I'm not pissed off about it. I'm truly not pissed. I'm really not. It's just that if you'd asked me where I envisioned myself to be in 5 years, I would never have thought it would be playing the what in the name of Zeus's crusty nipples is that smell now game every morning. What, let's see, boiled horse tits? No. Poached bean hair? No. What is that? What is the smell? What is it? Oh, gluten-free Bambi pits! Shut up! Now, I don't want to seem intolerant here. I really don't, but this is actually kind of dangerous. I mean, I know the chances are slim, but what if one day there actually is a yak on fire in the house? It has to have happened somewhere. I mean, if that happened now, we'd be screwed. We would literally sit upstairs and burn to death, thinking it was just the dolphin turd tofurkey surprise in the oven downstairs. And you vegans out there, I know you're someone out there, I have to say this to you. Sometimes you guys will come up and be like, here, try this. It tastes just like real meat. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I've had personal experience now. No, it doesn't. Whoever convinced you of that needs to have their taint waxed. The only meat that vegan food tastes close to is ass. Here, try this. It tastes just like real ass. That's fine. You can do that. But no more of this, I've got something tasty. No, you don't. You cannot make something taste like meat out of twig, pulp, and guano paste. You can't do it. You want to taste real meat, you can do one of two things. Either chew on an animal like the rest of us, or gobble my balls. If God didn't intend us to eat animals, He would have made them out of meat. But aside from all that, though, I actually started kind of getting a little concerned after Susan moved in, because she didn't really know who I was. But she knew I was a stand-up comic, but she'd never heard any of my material. So But she did have a lot of friends in the furry transgender community. And apparently, not long after she moved in, she was talking to them online, and she happened to mention who her new roommates were. And they went, "Get out of the house. Get out now, drop a match, and just run. Don't even look back or it'll turn into a pillar of griffin shit." I had no idea that I had become such a pariah in the transgender community. I mean, you know, just because I'm a loudmouth, judgmental, narcissistic, shallow-minded son of a bitch doesn't mean I'm a bad guy. But no matter my opinion of somebody, one thing I always respect is honesty. And luckily, Susan didn't follow their advice. Instead, she waited until everyone was out of the house, except for me and her. And she came up to me and she said, "I think we need to talk." So I said, "Okay, I'll be honest with you. I think you're a confused, misguided, broken psychopath." She said, "Okay. I think you're a loudmouth, judgmental, narcissistic son of a bitch." I said, "Okay." She said, "You want to play Modern Warfare?" I said, "Yeah." We got on the game and we started kicking people's asses.
Yeah!
Because no matter how much you may disagree with someone, you will agree with them on 100 more things if you just find it. And if someone like me and Susan can do that, nobody else got any excuse not to. Man. Anybody can do it. Peace. It's about peace. We like that. Yeah. I still disagree with her, but I mean, we talk about it a lot. But I still love her to death. She's still one of my best friends. In fact, she's sitting out here somewhere tonight. She's probably going to cook something real special after we get home. Hey, sweetie. I love you. So, I got this email the other day from, I think her name was Shauna. Powerful name, Shauna. And I was a little confused. I didn't quite know how to answer it. It said, "Dear 2, I discovered I was a furry when I was 12 years old. Now I'm 17. If my mom found out I was a furry, she would probably rip my face off and leave me in an oil drum behind a 7-Eleven. My father said that if I ever turned out to be furry, he would hang me upside down until I died. So my question is, how do I tell my parents I'm furry? At gunpoint? What are you, crazy? If you got parents that are going to leave you in a barrel with no face or hang you upside down until you're dead because you're a fan of cartoon animals, the issue isn't how do I tell them I'm furry, it's how fast can you light them on fire and run? Because that's crazy. Parents that crazy deserve to be on fire. In fact, I would suggest that anything you need to tell them, just chisel it on a brick and throw it at them while you're driving through their house with an SUV. Don't even stop. Just in one wall, out the other side. Why take the chance? That's some Charlie Manson shit right there. And what are they gonna? They're gonna freak out that bad if you're a furry. What are they gonna do if they find out, you're gay or pregnant or Chinese? They're gonna rip their faces off and turn into Cenobites? Mom, Dad, I'm pregnant. We have such sights to show you. Change. I mean, your parents just threatened to do some crazy, wicked harm to you, and you want to know a delicate way to tell them that you're a furry? If they're threatening shit that crazy, the time for delicate communication has obviously gotten on the crazy shuttle and blasted off for planet batshit a long time ago. It's gone. They've just thrown away 1,000 years of good human understanding. Screw it. Pick up a sledgehammer, knock the piss out from the tattoo, "I'm a furry, you sick waste of skin," right on their eyeballs. See if they like how delicate that is. letter almost every week. Dear 2, parents hate furries. Will stuff me down garbage disposal. Ouch. How do I tell them I'm furry? Yeah, if your parents are going to go bitch cake bonkers because you're a furry, they're going to do it anyway. There's no way you're going to rearrange the letters or the orders of the words and it'll be okay with them. I mean, what are you going to do?
Furry, am I beating up my face? No.
I used to tell people, just don't tell them. I said, you know, it's your life, not theirs. Be who you want to be and screw them if they don't like it. It's not their business. That's what I used to say. Well, okay, some things are their business. If you start a meth lab in the house, that's kind of their business. You might want to say something. Mom, Dad, built a meth lab in the closet. It's who I am inside. That's what furries used to tell me when I'd ask them why they had to dramatically reveal this to their parents. They'd say, well, I have to tell them because it's who I am. No, it's not. It's not. A person is a million different things all smushed together into one. Furry is just one of them. Maybe an important one, but it's just one. If you had to announce to your parents who you were, you would have to stop every 5 minutes. Mom, Dad, I don't want you to freak out. You know, I need you to be open-minded, and I hope for your support. But I have to tell you, I'm someone who just tried to pee with a morning ranger. It pretty much went everywhere. It's just who I am. So I used to tell them, just don't tell them, you know? Screw them, would say I. It's not their business, further would squawk me. But they do it anyway. They just do, Dear 2, parents said if I was a furry, they'd kick me out of the house. How do I tell them I'm furry? Screw up! Don't tell them! Dear 2, told them anyway. My new address, 334 Ditch, apartment, box. So you know what? I'm changing my answers. I'm changing it. If furries are determined to tell their parents this stuff, even though they know it's going to get them stuffed in an oil drum, then you know what? I say screw it. Piss them off on the way out. Out crazy them. You want your psychotic parents to know you're a furry? Let them come home and find you in full fursuit having sex with a giant foam pancake. For those of you on Google, I +1 this. And then wrap tinfoil around your head, spin around 3 times, skip to the bathroom, and curb stomp yourself on the edge of the bathtub. Why not? Go crazy, you might get sympathy points. Blow their minds so hard that they'll wish you were a furry. Dad, I like to pee on dead hamsters. They asked me to do it. It's just who I am. You do that, your parents will buy you a fursuit. Please, son, just put on the snowsuit. Please, just be a little bit broken, for God's sake, just a little bit. So, I thought about it for a little while. Finally, and I answered Sean's letter. I said, Dear Sean, and I even did that. I did that. Dear Sean, best way to tell your parents that you're a furry, move to a nearby town, and then send them a Bad Dragon gift box. With a letter attached to it that says, Dear Mom and Dad, this is the closest thing to a son-in-law you're gonna get. Love ya! I wonder if she took my advice. That would be funny if she did. Oh man. Quick announcement. First of all, let's see what time it is. Okay. I want to make a quick announcement here real quick. We're trying something new, just want to let you know. And you guys are the ones that really convinced me to try and do this. We've tried it a couple times.